My Drukai Violet sit for a while, and I'm gonna have take a bit of time with my base. You can see that I picked out three colors purely out of how I felt I wanted to do things. Obviously, I would go on with pure white later on for the little specks of light that shine in these grooves. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm going over the grooves with Cantor Blue first. And obviously what you want to do is make sure that these are slightly watered down. They can't be too thick, so just remember that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So then I'll go on with a bit of so your Calgar blue, which is the next brightest. And I know these aren't specifically the colors that were in the tutorial for Warhammer TV, but I can't remember, and I'm a little bit too lazy to go online just to look at that. So I'm using Calgar blue. So this is almost like glazing. You can see that it does leave a bright point of blue where my brush ends, and I'm actually using that to my advantage and letting most of the brightness collect at the intersection. And the reason why I do that is because naturally light, oh well, naturally, but no, in a lot of these situations, you find that the light is always brighter at the intersections where all these points cross. So I'm just going to soak up some of that excess blue if I can just get my brush dry enough. Yeah, so I'm okay with this. So Alpha 1 Grey now, and of course this is going to be watered down as well. um, I'd say um, about 50-50. We'll see the concentration I had. Now it's still wet, so I'm going to just see if I can actually, there we go. So by dripping this in there, I'm actually getting sort of an effect where the Alpha 1 Grey is spreading out gradually from this point of concentration. If I don't go overboard, if I don't overdo it, I actually have a very nice effect. The last step of this is to add specks, like sparkles of white all along this line, but I'll do that later. In the meantime, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to add sort of some grooves just painted on. So let's see. Yeah, I totally hate that. So it's not totally dry yet, so I'm just gonna do what I can. And so I've got rid of as much of that mistake as I can, and I'll try and make it work. I totally went the wrong way with this. Realized I need to start with Cantor Blue first. So we're learning as we go. Part of why I'm doing this is so that I'm accountable to all of you watching, to improve. And I also want to be, more relatable in the sense that I'm no expert and I'm learning as I go. I'm trying to get better as I go. So I'm gonna make like dumbass amateur mistakes like that all the time. So let's see if I can fix this. There we go. So um, no, try and get it as parallel to that first line as possible. Yeah, no, something like that. Okay, so the whole idea is to get this like almost a snowflakey hexagon thing, following these lines as parallel as possible, and you see what I mean once I get some more of them in. Okay, so I sort of have something there already. I'll go on with the Calgar blue. Again, that's sort of watered down about a 50-50, just to make sure that it's not doesn't smear or mar the surface. I want it to be really smooth surface, because I'm going to go on with another layer of hard coat right at the end. So I really want this to work, this sparkle, this star. So this is the hard part. If I get it really perfectly parallel to this line, it's going to look really good. If I don't, it's going to look really dumb. Close enough. Okay, so so bit of Alpha 1 gray now, and maybe I'll just make this a little bit more dilute. Right, up the dilution a little bit, cause it's gonna be really small and I need to be really smooth. So wish me luck. Yeah, close enough. Oh, it's like... Yep, sorry for that. Here we go again. So that's what I'm looking for, and the last step is to go in with a bit of white. So I'm still using the white from my start painting box. Gonna have to get a new bottle soon, but this will do for now. So again, slightly diluted, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to paint at all. I'm just going to stipple. A lot of people like to do this to get sort of a gradiated effect, and I'm doing the exact same thing. So I'm going to stipple with the highest concentration again at where I want this light to be the brightest. And this stippling is going to go on and get more and more sparse as I get away from that focus, that concentration, and I actually want really to have a huge concentration of dots right there. And I guess I'll add a few sparkles here, just one or two to give sort of there we go, a bit more in the middle. So there we go. Don't overdo it. It's very easy to overdo it, and as I'm probably going to demonstrate that right now, hopefully I don't, but I'm really I sort of feel an itch to add a few sparkles over here, so wish me luck. I'm gonna put some sparkles down here as well. Brighten up this again so that I can pull out some of the light. There we go. Okay, I'm not gonna touch it anymore. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna go check on my Astro Navigator now. There he is, Espern Locarno. So I'm gonna call it. No, I can't call it done. I'm really not satisfied with this. But because my palms get a bit sweaty, I don't want to touch him too much. Actually want to put him on the base first. That'll give me a chance to show you what he looks like with the lights on. And then that will help me get a good grip on him, a firm grip, to finish up his metallics and stick on that backpack of his. So this will be fun. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to pick a spot for him to stand on without losing the nice I think I will inevitably lose some of that detail. I'll probably go with something like that. Unfortunately, lose that bright spot. I suppose that's fine. It's a bit weird. I'm just I think that's fine. I might want to add maybe some sparkles on that end so it doesn't look so boring, but I'm just gonna eyeball it and call it there. I'm gonna need to make a hole right there, and I'm just gonna mark it out. So just eyeballing it again, because he's standing there. Hole should be just about right there. That's where I need to make that hole, and he should sit probably pretty fine. So I'm breaking out the hobby knife and pin vise. First thing I'm going to do is by right I should use a really sharp hobby knife, but since this hole is going to be like a rough one, it's going to be, give me a sec, I gotta pick my, okay, so it's going to be two holes about that far apart, right, one right there and one right there. So that'll give me the space I need to stick this guy in. So I'm gonna pick, like, basically bore two holes using my pin vise. So I use sort of a budget store pin vise. I mean, like I said, when you work with plastic and not metal, you don't really need precision, high carbon, steel, super artificer tools. It helps, but I always try to be realistic. Not everyone's got money coming out of their pockets, and even if they did, not everyone wants to spend that money. Everyone wants to enjoy their hobby at the capacity that they have. Everybody has their own capacity, so that's the bit I'm using. I don't know the diameter of this bit, but I'm gonna mount it anyway. Get a good grip. So this pin vise cost me less than $10. It's a real, like, a budget store pin vise, and I'm sure like we don't have like Bunnings or what have you in Singapore, or Kmart and all that. I'm sure you can definitely find that sort of thing anywhere you are, and if you can't, You can get it from AliExpress. And AliExpress ships all over the world, so you really don't have to overthink it. You just have to wait a couple of weeks for them to come bring it to you. Okay, so that was fast. I think, did I get through? No, I didn't get through. See, the bit just slipped, but just got a good tight grip on it. I'm gonna start again. So with this, you don't want to, because I have a nice glossy art coat over everything, you don't want to wipe your dust, your drill curlies away. You want to blow so that you don't press them into the art coat, because contrary to popular belief, art coat is not art at all. It's a bit tacky. It does harden over time, but impatience is my greatest weakness. So once I've gotten through with this second hole, there we go. Once I've gotten through that second hole, I'm gonna eyeball it again and say, yep, just nice. So gonna push that through as far as I can. They're a little bit far apart, see? They're a bit spread out, but we'll make do. We'll make do. You know what I'll do? I'm gonna widen that hole till it fits. So just gonna widen it in that direction. It's pretty easy just to saw it out. Push it out in this direction as well, because nobody's going to look at it. Close enough. So there, your contact's coming out the back end. I want to use as few parts as possible. Positive side's the long one, negative side's the flat one. I didn't break my bulb, which is a good thing. Eyeballing it again, putting him in there, and if you look at him, you'll see his eye lights. His third eye seems to be a little bit shifted. I'll go fix that later. The lights coming up around his collar, and you'll see that he's got a little gubbin on the back as well. So that's a preview of what he's going to look like with the lights on. Now, just get this down as firmly as I can. I'm going to mount this with the positive side facing out and the negative side against this side. I might have to cut the contacts of the LED. We'll see how far we get. I'm going to bend this away from the LED. I'm going to have to cut. So I'm going to bend it away from the LED to form sort of a base in a spot where I can do that. So you see that I've successfully created a situation where the contacts touch exactly at the right spot, because the positive part of the battery is the edge. So I'm just basically bending them in such a way where I can touch the spot that I need. I'm causing a short circuit, so I'm gonna have to cut it right there. So get some cutters and I'll just snip it off right about there. Oh, it's a tough one. There we go. Okay, just need to get a good grip. Okay, so again, right there, perfect. So now if I really wanted to, all I would need to do is just bend this over, and this thing is going to this will float. That's basically it. But I'll probably find a way to tidy this up later. For now, um, I've got my base.